Good afternoon, and thank you very much. Again, my name is Dr. Kevin Unter. I do teach political science at ULM. I do have a radio show Monday mornings from 8 to 9 on Talk 540, titled Political Incorrectness, with my colleague and good friend, Dr. Joshua Stockley. You may have read some of our things in the Sunday News Star. There will be another series of columns again tomorrow. It's a lot of fun. We do have a good time. When I told him we were coming here, he suggested that he put a communist flag on his car. I said, "You don't already have one?" So I thought that was kind of ironic, actually. But thank you very much for an invitation to come and speak to you today. It is always a pleasure to get out into the community and just see how interested and how involved everybody is on issues that are truly important to us and important to this country as well. You know, it's getting louder in here. Every day I wake up and I think it's great to be an American. Of course, I'm also, every day I wake up I keep saying the things that make me the happiest, which are defending world champion New Orleans Saints. Tell me, when we did this last year, it was over the summer, and we were looking forward to what could have been a good Saints year based on the year before. I don't think anybody here had any inkling that would be the case. We definitely had the hope. That was for sure. So that's always a good thing to see the Saints do that. I know I jumped for joy and still do. I think this group and many of the thousands like it around this country are forming today and have formed over the last year in response to politics, because we do live in tumultuous times. They're also very exciting times because we have an opportunity to do great things, considering that some great things have not been done. What this is not, however, this is not a dangerous time. Despite what we're being told by the mainstream media and everybody else that we're dangerous, I think if you look around the room, we're probably the most benign individuals. I mean, if we were really dangerous, we'd have more than coffee and water here, let me tell you. But we're just Americans, ordinary Americans who are passionate about what we believe, and passionate so much that we're getting together in response to things that we see that are breaking this country both physically and economically. That we have to look around and say, if we don't get together and come together around our beliefs and restore sanity to what's going on in Washington, D.C., it's only going to get worse. I can't think of anybody in this country that's been happy over the last 4 years, especially as it's resulted in our economic lack of growth or economic decline. You know, as Republicans as I am, and I know not everyone here is a Republican, and I think that's a good thing, but we all are coalescing around this concept of economic conservatism and economic fiscal restraint, which is a good thing. But as a Republican, and on my blog on the News Star, because we post to the News Star on the blog, so you can actually read the Sunday column before it comes out on, when it comes out on Friday. My tagline is restoring sanity to the everyday world, because I think that's what we need, and I think that's where we've lost our way in the last 4 years. You know, as a Republican, as I was saying, I wasn't happy the last couple of years of George Bush's term, but there wasn't anything I could do about it. I had to wait till 2008 for a new presidential election. And I think that's where we're going now in 2010. We finally have an opportunity. We're seeing a groundswell. And just as we're seeing a groundswell of support for us, you're seeing an increasing groundswell of people who want to denigrate and defame us for what we believe. And that is wholly, in my opinion, and I think I share it with you, that is wholly un-American here. You know, Democrats took control of the House and the Senate in 2006, in part as a reaction to George Bush's economic policies. I think that gave them the false impression that what they were doing was right. And so when we got to 2008, that was the direction we wanted to go. What we've seen after 1 year of fiscal insanity, where we've seen a series of, or a group of individuals on the left, and not just the center left, but out there on the left, who have looked at George Bush's policies and said what he was doing was wrong, but let's keep it up and do it even more. You know, this idea that two wrongs make a right is not, I guess only works in the Democrats and the left's minds, because what they're doing is furthering the decline here in America, and the fact that they can't see it, or the fact that they want to blame us for not seeing their point of view, speaks more about them than it does about us. I talk about the election of 2008, and it gave the impression of the left that the path they were on is right, and we certainly know that that's not the case. Otherwise, this movement, this organization, and the other movements around the country would not be out in full force. You would not have seen what happened in Massachusetts with Scott Brown being elected to the Senate. I think, I saw a quote, as a political scientist, I've been studying Congress and the presidency and politics going far back to when I was in college in the mid-'80s. And I simply have a hard, I don't know how I'm going to wrap my head around this simple fact, that for the first time since 1958, there will not be a Kennedy in Congress. I honestly don't know how the Republic will survive. But we're not going to have a Kennedy. Hopefully we won't have a Robert Byrd anymore. We're seeing Frank Lautenberg. You know, this idea of all these long-term serving Democrats are leaving. And it's not just the long-term serving ones that are leaving. It's the moderates that were hijacked by the left and had to vote left. And all of a sudden their constituents are running away from them and turning to organizations like this, who represent the mainstream America, who represent fiscal restraint, who represent common sense. When President Obama stood in his State of the Union and said, "I will not quit. I will not quit for America," I thought that was a great line, except you just turn around and realize that there's a whole bunch of Democrats behind him that are saying, "Yeah, but I am." And Byron Dorgan's leaving in North Dakota. Evan Bayh's leaving in Indiana. You know, a couple other senators around the country are deciding that this is probably not a good year. And I don't know whether it's you know, they've just decided to go into private sector because they want to make more money, which I think is highly doubtful. But maybe it's because they know they're facing a tough re-election fight, courtesy of individuals like ourselves, who are looking at them and saying, "You voted that way, we don't like it, get ready for what's coming next."